Welcome to Dare to be Conscious, the podcast that helps you shift, grow, and transform anything in your life with ease. I'm Ruby Pichel, your host. Here we explore conscious choices, spiritual growth, and practical tools to help you live fully awake, aligned, and empowered. Every episode, I share insights, stories, and strategies that support you in stepping into your power and living the life you truly desire. So, whether you're making big decisions, expanding your consciousness, or simply want to live more intentionally, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hi, and welcome to an episode of Aligning with Source. My name is Ruby, and I am here to talk to you about what aligning with Source really means. Let's dive in. So, what I've recently been shown is how some forces that are trying to distract us from our true self, that are trying to distract us from aligning with Source. And you can call them whatever you want. I'd like to call them demons, but some people feel really offended when I talk about demons or demonic forces. So you can call them dark forces, you can call them energies that pull us out of alignment. For me, it doesn't really matter what you call them. All I know is that it distracts you. It distracts you from who you truly be. It distracts you from aligning with Source. Doesn't matter what you call it on one hand. And on the other hand, it does, because the name of something also holds a frequency. And if we are afraid to call something by the name, it will not listen. And everybody who is involved in supernatural things, calling out entities, you know that you have to call someone by name, right? It also happens when somebody is not being themselves. If you don't call them out on their names, they will not respond. This happens with children, but this also happens with older people or people with dementia. If you want to reach out the entity that is dominant or that you want to speak to, you need to call their names. So same here. A demon is a demon. I didn't make it up. Or dark forces might be good enough. And what I've seen recently is that these dark forces have tried to come really close. They're coming through people that you could call a friend, or they would call themselves friends. And what happens is sometimes people that you consider to be friends, they stab you in the back. They do something to you that is completely out of alignment. And the important thing is that we do not judge the situation, right? It's just an experience to show us something. So don't go into judgment. Basically, what this is showing you, if you're being stabbed in the back by somebody that you would call a friend or maybe even a family member, the positive way of looking at it is that you've leveled up. You've shifted to another level and they didn't come with you. And then there's a reaction of wanting to pull you back into that old frequency. And in order for them to pull you back into that frequency is by simply pulling you down or bringing you down or just stabbing you in the back so you would get hurt. So be very aware of what's happening. Just ask, like, what is this showing me? And it will be shown to you. Now, another thing that showed up for me when this all happened was right after this experience, I was doing an energetic session with a good friend of mine. And all I could hear was God's voice saying, stop helping people. Just stop. Which doesn't really make sense, right? Aren't we here to help people? And I already knew that I used to have the help syndrome. And I already got over most of the help syndrome. I knew that I couldn't help people that don't want to be helped. So the only way that I could help people is if people are really open to me helping them. And that could only happen by them asking me. So I already stopped helping people that didn't ask me or that weren't open to receiving what I had to give. At least that's what I thought. But apparently, I was still helping people that couldn't receive my gift. And what I learned through this experience was that help syndrome is actually a trauma trigger. Help syndrome is a trauma trigger. Now, how is that a trauma trigger? It goes back to your childhood where you wanted to do good, you wanted to help people, so it would make you valuable. It would make you good, right? Do good unto others. And you're here for a reason, right? You're here to help humanity evolve. So this necessity to go and help people and to go and spread your gift is something that we learn at a very young age. But the help syndrome is a trauma trigger because the action that we want to do is helping people so that we get the recognition, so that we become valuable. And the thing is, we already are valuable. If you have any questions around HELP syndrome being a trauma trigger and how trauma works and how we're being triggered, um, come back to me because I have this whole explanation about how a trauma trigger works in the same way as an addiction. And this is the same reason why God is telling me just stop helping people. It's like when people have an addiction to alcohol and they go into recovery, you have to take away the alcohol. You shouldn't offer anything because there is no way that they could set the standard for themselves, right? So we just take it away completely so they don't get the distraction at all. And the same is with helping people. God said, just stop helping. Just stop helping people completely. And this doesn't mean that I would never be able to help somebody ever again. He just needs me to grow in my discernment. And another thing that he's been sharing with me or that he's been showing me suddenly when I when I decided that I wasn't going to help anybody that doesn't deserve my help, and I decided I was going to follow what God has given me, and that was the direction of just stop helping, please. The moment I made that decision, I felt he was filling up my own cup. I could just literally feel that my cup was being filled, and I could perceive this image of a like a cylinder, like a vessel that was filled up with gold. And he said, "Please don't give it away. Like, how can I fill you up when you keep giving it away? How can I fulfill you when you keep giving it away into dark spaces? It just disappears into dark spaces." And he said, you know they could come to me for help too, right? They could come to me, they could look up to me, and I would help them, just like I'm helping you. You know that I can do that, right? You know that I would do that if they would only come to me. So why would you help them if they're not even willing to come to me for help? Because I would do that in a heartbeat. And it just became perfectly clear to me. Yeah, why would I help somebody who is not even willing to look up to God for help? It doesn't make sense. And it's not like I don't want to help, but why would I? And it immediately brought me back to where many, many religions, many churches are telling people to do good for others. Like if you do good for others, you will receive good. And this is a transactional reality. I mean, you would already be good to others just by the goodness that you're holding, the love that you're holding. And loving somebody is not the same as just helping somebody who is not able to receive and who is not even willing to receive from God. So, a way of helping people would actually be praying for them to open up to receive from God. That's all they have to do, right? Instead of giving people money, instead of taking care of things, instead of doing all kinds of things for them, why don't you pray for them? Or maybe even teach them how to pray, or maybe even keep asking them, like, have you already opened up to Source? Because if they're not willing to open up to Source, it never ends, right? They will always be giving that energy towards darkness. And not intentionally. I mean, I'm not saying people are intentionally bad. It's just this unconsciousness of listening to whispers that are not of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, then, I mean. So this was a major lesson for me. I had to learn that I've let darkness come too close. And it wasn't that I didn't see it, because I did see it. I've actually, the people that I'm talking about, I've actually told them many times, just beware of this and make sure that you just shine your light and you overcome the darkness of the devil. So I've been trying to help these people many times by sharing this with them. But I could also see that they were still listening to the whispers of the devil. And I just, I don't know, maybe you call it naive or whatever. I just allowed them to be in my space. And the danger was I never expected them to attack, which is actually stupid, right? Because the devil has one job, and that is to dim the light. So it's actually quite naive and dumb that I would think the devil would not attack, because he will, especially when you start shining brighter, right? Especially when you keep growing and you keep expanding and you keep shifting into higher frequencies. Of course, they're going to pull you down because you're going too fast. And again, don't see that as a negative. Don't see that as a problem. Take away all of the judgment and just ask, what is this showing me? What can I learn from this? What is it really showing me? And I knew that this was showing me that I already knew I was leveling up, but this was a confirmation that I was leveled up. Like, why else would they want to bring me down? And so I'm going to stop helping people and I'm going to put all that energy, all the energy that I put into helping people, I'm going to pour that into myself. Or maybe just do nothing, right? And maybe I'm just going to sit and receive from the Holy Spirit. And I have to admit, it's quite difficult because it became a pattern of me to help people, right? It's the help syndrome, but it's also a pattern. It's a form of behavior that we just do without thinking about it. That's what happens with addictive behavior. With addictive behavior, we just do the behavior without thinking. And we also do it because we think we get something in return. We have to do good to receive good, which is actually such a deep trauma in many churches and religions. While and also in Christianity, right? I mean, we could say, well, it's different in Christianity. It's not. Also in Christianity, a lot of people think they just have to do good. All we have to do is just receive from God and let God care for us. Let God fill our cups and provide. And we have to be willing to let ourselves, let our vessels be filled with the Holy Spirit and close any leak that we might have. So I hope this helps you. I hope this has given you a different perception of things. I hope this helps you in looking at ways where you let some people come too close or where you are helping people that are not willing to receive the gift that you have. You bring your gift. Your light is your gift. That's what you're bringing into this world. And not many people are willing to receive that gift of the light. And you might wonder, well, why don't they want to receive it? It's not a matter of why, right? There's no reason in justification. It's just they don't. They don't. And it's really hard because the patterns of this world are really tough. So do yourself a favor and allow the gift of the Spirit to fill you up and focus on you. Just focus on you and see what happens. And another thing that I've also learned in this one is don't just focus on the healing because trauma triggers will be there all your life. They will come back, they'll come here every time. Don't focus on the trauma triggers, right? Because that's a distraction too. They will disappear. The moment you release and the moment you surrender to receiving the Holy Spirit, this energy. And some people say, well, God is inside of me. I already know he's inside of me. No, we are empty vessels without God. We are empty vessels if we do not allow the Holy Spirit in. Yes, God can come inside of us, but you have to be open. Like he's not just there, right? You need to choose this. You need to make a choice every day. It's not just going to happen by accident because he needs your approval to come in. It's like they say in the Bible, it's a loving God, right? He is a loving God. And the thing that God honors most, that consciousness honors most, is your free will. So it has to be your choice to connect to source. It has to be your choice to be in full alignment to source. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. That's how unconditional love works. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Enjoy your day. Thank you for listening to Dare to Be Conscious. Remember, the life and energy you want start with the choices you make every day. The more you choose consciously, the more that energy shows up for you. You attract what you choose to be, so choose wisely. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you left a 5-star review or shared it with someone who could benefit. Subscribe to stay updated on new episodes and connect with me on social media. The links are in the show notes. Thank you for showing up, for stepping into your power, and for being willing to live consciously. You matter, and I love you.